Welcome to You Make the Difference. I'm Wanda Walker, and today we're talking to Sheriff Woodruff from the Troup County Sheriff's Department. We have lots of things to talk about, and one of the things we're going to start with is that the Troup County Sheriff's Office just had their annual report.
Correct.
And so we want to find out what's in that report.
Well, but before we do that, I want the people to know, I don't know how many people know about what a good ministry you have at the Sheriff's Office and the people that she ministers to every day at the Sheriff's Office and helps change their life. So not only does she do this show, but she has a tremendous involvement with the jail and with those women down there. And I just wanted to publicly thank you for what you do for us down there and what you do for those ladies.
Well, you're certainly welcome, and I thank you for allowing it. And,
Sure.
and also, I know that we are very honored and blessed through River of Life Ministries.
Yes.
To have men going in and women going in, and many days
Yes.
throughout the week.
Well, I would say probably one of just about every day there's some ministry that's coming in there, and it is men and women.
Yes.
And we've got to have that. You know, the answer is not locking these people up forever. Now, some, they commit such heinous crimes, they have to be locked up forever.
Yes.
But a lot of people in jail are pretty good people. They just make some bad mistakes like we all do, and they're just there trying to get their life turned around. And thanks to the ministries that come there, a lot of them do. And that's what we want. We want them to change their life, go back into society, and be a productive citizen. That's our goal, and thanks to the ministries, we see that happen a lot.
Yes, and I just want to say too that when we go down and minister, and we call it having church,
Yes.
there are lots of people who have been in church a long time. They've had grandmothers that took them to church. They've
Right.
sang in the choir. There are many giftings that they have from time to time.
Yes.
We run across people who even see visions and have dreams, and it's really remarkable. And so we are very honored to be able to take the gospel into the jail system, and
Yes.
also just to fellowship with other people who are there and have had something in their life, but we fully expect them to come out of there and do well.
Yeah. And I'll say this, I know you know it, they look forward to it
Yes.
every week. I mean, they look forward to church day, whether church day is a Tuesday or a Thursday night or a Sunday afternoon or whenever church day is for them that they go, they really look forward to it. And again, it's a great program.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, and so the annual report.
The annual report, we just released it. I think it was in some of the local media
It
and the
was.
newspapers. But I just wanted to kind of just share with you and our viewers just some of the things that we do. There's no way I could go through the entire report. We'd be here for an hour and a half doing your show. But anybody's welcome to come to the Sheriff's Office and pick up a copy. If they call me and want a copy, we'll mail them a copy if they can't drive down and get it, because I'm proud of the men and women that I work with every
Yes.
day, because they do an awesome job. And I think some of these numbers will reflect that. Patrol Division. Now, Patrol Division, Wanda, is that group of deputies that answer calls for service. They do a lot more. You know, they do funeral escorts, they do traffic. But for the main part, they answer calls for service. When you call and need a deputy, they're the ones that go. Just that division made up of just 20-something guys, drove 653,000 miles last year, over
Wow,
a half a
yeah.
million miles just right here in Troup County. I mean, that's a lot of driving.
It
But Troup
is.
County is relatively a pretty big county. When you think about it, goes from Hogansville over to Liberty Hill to the Alabama line, down to West Point, all the way down to Pine Mountain, back out to Mountville, and back up to Hogansville. That's a lot of area
Yes.
that they have to cover. Another thing, calls for service. When somebody calls 911 and they say, for whatever reason, there's a suspicious car, somebody stole my lawnmower, calls for service, 17,781. I broke that down. That's about 342 calls per week.
Wow.
That these deputies have to go out
Yes.
and answer. Inmate transports, a very big thing that we do. Transporting people to mental facilities, transporting them to the hospital when they're hurt, transporting them from other agencies. Now, this is Patrol Division. Remember, I've got a transport division that's made up of 3 people, and that's all they do.
Yes.
427 inmates were transported just by the patrol division.
Wow.
So in addition to answering these calls for service, you got 400 transports. That's over one a day.
Yes.
So they're busy doing that. The jail. There's always something going on at the jail.
There is.
You know that because you're there a lot of times. People that were brought into the jail, processed in, whether they made bond or they stayed, 6,767 people
Wow.
came through those doors last year in 2017. Our average inmate daily population, 538 people
Wow.
every day behind
Yes.
those bars.
Wow.
On-site visitation. So that's where you can come to the jail, make an appointment. You drive up in the parking lot. We've got a separate building. You walk in, you give them your ID. You say, I'm here to see John Smith. You sit down at a computer. You pick up a telephone receiver. They have the inmate sit down immediately. You have your visit. 11,319 people went through those doors out there.
Yes.
And one guy runs the whole thing.
It's kind of like Skype, right?
It is.
Yes.
Right. But one person handles all of that
11,000.
visitation.
Yes.
Now, off-site visits. Think about this. If you live in Savannah and your grandson is in jail at Troup County, if you've got a computer with a camera on it, you can pay a nominal fee, and it's to secure us. I don't get any of the money.
Yes.
But the phone company and computer company gets this money. But say I think it's $20 for a 20-minute visit, and you can set up a visit. You can sit in your living room in Savannah, Georgia, and visit with your grandson in our jail and not have to drive that long distance up here and that long distance back.
That's really awesome. We've come a long way with that, haven't we?
Almost 2,000 of those visits.
Yes.
Believe that or not. I mean,
Yes.
that's unbelievable. Just a couple more things. I don't want to bore the people with a lot of stats. Our transport division that's made up of those 3 people, last year, they transported 1,819 inmates. And that's to prison and back and other facilities and back.
To court.
Yes, to court. Well, they don't transport them to
They
court.
don't-
Court division has to transport their own people to court.
Okay.
Inmates transported from the jail to court and back to the jail by the court division last year, 8,472.
Wow.
Why so many when you've only got 500 in jail? Sometimes you have to go multiple times before your case is finally solved. So that's just some of the things. Civil division made up of 2 people. They served 1,409 civil papers, divorces or where you're getting sued or something like that. So those 2 people. I mean, everybody, court division, patrol, jail, investigation, civil, juvenile, our SROs, everybody's got an important role.
Yes.
Everybody does a great job, and I am very fortunate to be part of that great team.
Yes, and we're very fortunate to have you part of that
Well, I
team.
appreciate that.
Yes.
But anybody's welcome to come and get a copy. We'll mail you a copy. We want you to see what we're doing. We want to be an open book and show the people that we're really working hard to serve them well. And it's truly my motto that we make Troup County a great place to live and work and raise our families.
Yes. Okay, now I know you want to talk about the Citizens Firearm class.
I do.
All right, so tell us about that.
We've got our first one for the year coming up on April the 28th. That's a Saturday. And we meet at our firearms range. And if you give us a call, we can tell you where that's at. But this is free. This is probably pretty close, if not the 20th class that we've had so far. And we're very, very, very thankful for the turnout, for the response. I'm thankful for my staff to volunteer their Saturday morning to come up and help. But it's about a 3-hour class, maybe sometimes 4-hour class, where you show up, we go through firearm safety, and we tell you, Wanda, we say, if you own a pistol, bring that pistol.
Yes.
Because that's going to be the one you're going to be shooting, so
Right.
you need to be familiar. Now, this is not a certification class. We don't certify you. We just let you become familiar. So we teach you how to load it and unload it, and we teach you, the safety things about it, where the safety, if it has one. We talk about the laws. We talk about the carry laws. Where can you have a gun without having a license? Where is it legal to have it? There's 3 different places you can have a gun without having a license? Where can you carry it if you have a license? Where can you carry it or not carry it even though you've got a license?
Yes.
So, somebody might say, well, it's legal to carry it in a restaurant. It is under Georgia law. But if that restaurant says we don't want that in here, you either have to leave or you have to take your gun off.
Yes.
Where do you get a license? How much does it cost? How long is it good for? We answer all those questions, and then we take you out on the firing range, and each person has their very own coach that stands behind them and coaches them, and we let you fire that gun and see how it sounds and what it feels like and the recoil. And I'm going to be honest to my fellow male friends out there, a lot of times men and women will come. And we ask people, if you're a good shot, if you shoot all the time, this class really isn't for you. It's for people that hardly ever shoot. And usually the people that we get are women, occasionally men, but usually women where she'll say, my husband bought me this gun and I've never even touched it and I'm afraid of it and I wouldn't pick it up if somebody came in the house. That's the ones that we want to help. But when these men come and they've shot some,
Yes.
and these women have never picked up a gun in their life, they'll go out there and outshoot the men on the course. And at the end of the day, if you understand it better, you understand the safety features, you have more confidence in yourself, that is a success to us. We have some women that'll come and they'll go through it and everybody's nervous when it first starts. But at the end of the day or at the end of the class, they say, hey, I want to bring one of my friends and I want to come back with them. And
Yes.
so we have some repeat people that come back and we encourage that. We say, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your family. Again, it's a free class that we offer. And if you're interested and would like to come, so far we have 3 people that have signed up. We try to keep the class around 20 people because if you have too many people, it just becomes cumbersome, so we can't get them through. But if we have about 20, you can go shoot a couple of 3 times.
Yes.
And so that's what we want you to do. But give Stuart Smith or myself a call at the Sheriff's Office, 706-883-1616. And we'd love to put you on the list, and we'd love to have you come, and I believe you'll enjoy it. We haven't had anybody yet that came and said, I hated the class, I hated that I gave up my Saturday morning. Everybody, and it's enjoyable to us to be able to do that.
Okay, and so it's Saturday, April 28th.
At 8 o'clock. And it's, like I said, usually over around 11. It might run to 12. And what happens is if you go out and shoot, we take like 5 out at a time. If you go out and shoot and then the next group shoots and they finish and you say, hey, I'd like to shoot again, then we let you go through again. And it might take a little longer, but everybody's enjoying it. They're sitting around talking and we just have a good time. And it's just a great community service. It's another way for us to give back to our community. And that's what we want to do.
Yes, and so also something else that's coming up is the first annual co-ed softball tournament. Now tell me, who does that benefit?
That benefits the Georgia Sheriff Youth Home, our Pineland campus here in Troup County. For years and years and years we had a car show. And Charles Nixon did a great job promoting that car show.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, Charles Nixon is retiring in May. And we looked at it and we said, do we keep the car show? Because in order for the car show to be good and to be successful, you have to go to their car shows.
Right.
And then they come to your car shows. Well, Charles Nixon is the real only car enthusiast that we have at the Sheriff's Office. And so instead of me saying to somebody, you got to give up every Saturday and go to somebody's car show to make ours successful, we kind of brainstormed and said, maybe we want to come up with a new benefit, maybe a new way to raise money. And a couple of guys that work with me there at the Sheriff's Office says, hey, we like to play softball. Why don't we have a softball tournament?
Yes.
Because those are very popular. And so Jeff Duran and others kind of spearheaded that and kind of putting it together. And they said, hey, let's take it a step further. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of times it's just all male teams. They said, let's make it co-ed. So it'll be more family fun. And so that's what we're going to do, have a co-ed team. And invite you to come and, of course, call Jeff and sign up. We'd love to have as many teams out there as we could. I think there's going to be a home run derby at some point during the day. And all the proceeds that we raise go directly to Pineland. And to just give you an idea, year before last, in years past, I would just, whatever we made, I would present Pineland with a check. and they used it however they saw fit for the boys. And a couple of years ago, I said, you know, instead of just giving them a check, I want to do something tangible. And so I went to Wayne Pittman, the director, and I said, Wayne, what do the boys need? And he said, well, the older boys that are in high school need a used car. And some of them have a part-time job, or some have to go to after-school activities. And they said a used car would really benefit us. And they said for the other boys that can't drive, maybe a bicycle. And so I took that money and went and purchased them a used car that they still have out there today, that they still use today.
That's great.
Got the other boys a bicycle. So last year I said, Wayne, what are we going to do with the money? And he said, you know, our lake has gotten low, and we need to kind of restock it. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into that, because you have to have somebody come out and study it and say, you need this kind of stuff in it and this many fish in it. You just can't just go dump fish in there. So we had that done. A local businessman generously paid for that. And then we used the money that we raised last year to stock the lakes.
Yes.
Not only for the boys to use and enjoy, but I want to get back to years ago during the summer, we would have a Saturday where we would have kids come out there that otherwise wouldn't get a chance to go fishing and spend the day fishing out there and having like a little fishing rodeo.
Yes.
So I want to get back to having that for the other youth in our community. So not only do the boys there at the youth home benefit, but even other kids in the community will benefit. And so that's very tangible. I think people like to give to stuff when they see where their money's going. And that's why I want to go and do something that I can say, you know, you came to our event, you helped sponsor it, or you gave us a donation. This is what we did with your money.
Yes.
And I think people enjoy it.
That's great. I want to talk about an event that I think Joy Burnham really helped with. Is it like Top Shooter?
Top Shot.
Top Shot.
Joy is a gun enthusiast, and she came to me a couple of years ago and said, I want to start this Top Shot. And it's held on a Saturday morning, and she invites people to come out that are very serious about shooting, but she also invites me and Lou Deckmar, the LaGrange chief, and Brian Hard, when we had our West Point chief, to go out there and compete against each other, and just fun.
Yes.
It's just good old-fashioned fun. And the first year that we had it, I think we had to use slingshots and bow and arrows and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, either Lou or Chief Har in Hogansville beat me. Of course, I was a gracious person, and I didn't want to win.
Oh,
I wanted them to win, so I let them win. But then I wanted to come back this past year and redeem myself. So Joy, and we never know. When we get there that morning, up until it's time for us to compete, we never know what she's going to have us do.
Yes.
And it's nerve-wracking because you got a lot of people there watching you, and the media's there. And you want to do real good if you can. And so this year we had to shoot, I think it was a 30-30 rifle. And so I guess I'll go ahead and brag and say I beat the fire out of both the chiefs. And so, so I represented Troup County well, got a lot of good comments on it.
Yeah.
But there's always next year, and I don't want to brag too much because I'll have to eat crow next year if they beat me. But she does a great job putting that together, and has a lot of participation from people, like I said, in the fire department, police departments, our sheriff's office, that are very serious about gun competition. And so they enjoy it as well.
Yes, that's great. Now also, you have a Sheriff's Academy for Youth.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It's in the summer, and it's a 2-week program. And 1 week we'll have like the younger kids there, and then the second week we'll have the older kids. And what happens is, Wanda, you bring your child, well, you got to sign them up with Parks and Rec. And let me say this, it fills up fast. I mean, by the time they say go, they almost have to say stop, it's full, because we can only have so many, and you'll see why in a minute. But in the summer, you bring your kids down every morning, you drop them off, and we have some sort of instruction. Today it might be a jail tour. Tomorrow it might be them bringing the K-9 in and doing a demonstration. The next day it might be an investigator showing them how to lift a fingerprint off of a piece of evidence. But we have that instruction, and then we do something fun.
Yes.
Sometimes we go to the movies. We take them skating out at Red's skating rink. We go to the water whiz and they
Yes.
play in the water out there. So it's a little bit of instruction, and we feed them lunch, and then it's some playtime. And it's twofold. It's to teach them about what we do, what law enforcement does,
Yes.
but we also want to tear down that barrier of we're the bad guys, and and I know parents don't mean any harm by this, but sometimes I'm in a grocery store and the kid maybe is acting up, they'll say, "You better behave. That's
the
the sheriff.
sheriff."
He's going to put you in jail." And I know and they want their kids to behave, and I respect
Yes.
that. But I don't want that child to be afraid of me.
Right.
I don't want that child, if they're at the mall and they get separated from their parent and they see a deputy, they're like, "Oh, I'm afraid of him because I might go to jail." I want them to feel comfortable coming up and talking to us. And so that's something that we do to show our friendly side, our easygoing side.
Yes.
When I had Stuart's job years ago, that was my job,
Oh, really?
to teach junior deputy. And we'd go hang out at the water whiz, and I'm not a skater, so I'd watch them, or we'd go to the movies, and it's a real fun week. And it's a lot of kids come back year after year because they enjoy it so much.
Yes.
But again, if you want more information about that, call Stuart Smith at the sheriff's office. And like I said, you have to sign up at the Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And then we have another thing that we're going to have in April, and I'm thinking Stuart said it's April the 20th, but I'm not positive, and that's called Sheriff for a Day.
Yes.
And we have our junior deputy program, which is targeted toward our third graders. And there's different lessons. One is being safe at school, one is being safe at home, one is bicycle safety and saying no to drugs. And we target these kids and say, these are the things you have to do. And we go to the school 4 times. And I used to do this when I had Stuarts. But you go to the school and you teach a lesson to all the third graders. This one might be being safe at home. What are some of the things you can do? Well, if you answer the phone and you're there by yourself, don't say I'm home alone. Don't give out personal information about yourself.
Right.
And so we go to all of our elementary schools inside and outside the city limits here in Troup County. And at the end of the school year in April, each school, not me, picks a child to be sheriff for a day to represent their school.
Yes.
Do you know how hard that would be for me to have to pick? And so we tell the students at the beginning of the year, only one of you from Rosemont or Hillcrest or Hollis Hand or Berta Weathersby will be chosen. And guess who chooses you? Your third grade teachers.
Yes.
And they choose you. And what we do is we go pick them up. I pick up some that morning, and we bring them to the sheriff's office, and they get to hang out with me all day long. We go into my conference room. We usually have them a snack there when they get there, and we go tour 911. And we usually go into court if Superior Court
yes.
or state court's going on. We go in there. They get to go to my office uptown. We feed them usually a pizza lunch, and we have a big picture made, and just have a day of fun and also a day of education about what I do. And then at the end of the day, we take them back to the schools, and we give them a shirt and give them a badge that says they're the sheriff for a day. And so it's another positive program to reach our youth in our community.
Tell me what you do at Christmas for the community.
Well, every year, to me, Christmas, personally and professionally, is more about helping others and giving to others. Even the Bible says it's better to give than to receive.
Right.
And I take that literal. And so from time to time, we'll have a family or something that'll call us and say, we need some help.
Uh-huh.
I'm a single mom, and I'm just barely able to make ends meet. I can pay the bills, but my kids aren't going to get anything for Christmas. And so me and my staff, we take that serious, and we get out and we've raised money, and we've got a benefit fund now that we've created that we go out and help people and buy Christmas gifts for kids, or we've bought them Thanksgiving dinners for a family that might need it. And you know what? We always tell the parents, don't say this come from us. We don't want any glory.
Right.
We don't want any notoriety. We don't even let the media know when we do it. And I only talk to you about it because, not bragging, but just being able to thank the Lord that we're able to help families in need, personally, from us to them.
Yes.
And that's what we want to do.
That's amazing.
Well, we're blessed.
Yes.
And we want to share that with other people. And we're able to do that, not just in word, but in deed.
Yes.
And that makes it very worthwhile.
Tell me about the Explorer program.
Explorer program, it's for kids, and I say kids because it's boy and girl, and it's chartered under the Boy Scouts of America, and it's for kids 14 to 21. And believe it or not, Stuart Smith, that's the Explorer advisor now, was one of my explorers.
Really?
Lee Wynn, that's a detective at the police
Yes.
department, was one of my explorers.
How about that?
Jeff Walker, that's a sergeant
Yes.
in the courthouse, was one of my explorers. So a lot of our explorers went on to have great careers in law enforcement. Some at 911, others in the military, but it teaches them. They have a monthly meeting, and right now, believe it or not, my daughter is one of our explorers. So I'm very proud of her.
Yes.
But every month, they meet once a month, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the first Tuesday of the month at 6 o'clock at the sheriff's office. And Stuart teaches them something about law enforcement. And eventually, they can get to down the road where they can ride with deputies and really see if that's what they want is a career in law enforcement. Some people do want a career in law enforcement, and this shows them the inside things that we do every day. It teaches them about patrol, court division, 911, jail division, narcotics division. And if they've ever wondered, they can have their questions answered for them.
Yeah, that's amazing. We just have a couple of more minutes.
Okay.
But I know that you have ways that people can know what's happening at the Sheriff's Department, like Facebook page and
Do.
website address.
Right.
You want to tell the...
Well, we've got a website. We've got the Facebook. We ask them to follow us on Facebook because Stuart does a great job keeping that up to date. And so follow us on Facebook, like us on there. We have a lot of information on there daily because there's a lot going on daily. There's Code Red you can sign up for special alerts, for weather announcements. If we've got a tornado or something, 911 would give them a call through Code Red. So that's a free service that we offer. And so we ask you just to follow us. I think more people now follow you on Facebook than maybe, I don't know, any other way that they communicate.
Yes.
And they can message us and stuff. What we ask you not to do is please don't get on Facebook at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, y'all need to send a car out here because there's somebody suspicious, because we don't monitor that 24 hours a day.
Right.
If you need, call 911. Please don't put stuff like that on Facebook because you're looking for a deputy and we don't even know that you put it on there. So for service, still call 911.
Yes. And also, we have like 1 minute left, but overall, being the sheriff
Yes.
of this community, what is your impression of Troup County?
I love it.
I know it.
I think Troup County is great. It's still small enough that we know everybody, or just about everybody.
Yes.
But it's big enough that, man, look at the industry that we have here. And Great Wolf is coming, and Century Tires coming, Kia's here. And just imagine how much we've grown over the past few years. And I love living here. I can't imagine ever living anywhere but here. And that's why I dedicate my life to the service of the citizens here. And I just appreciate them. They come up to me all the time and say, boy, you're doing a great job. And I said, I appreciate your confidence in me.
Yes.
Because without the citizens' confidence, I can't do anything.
Yes. And we do appreciate
Well,
you.
thank you.
We feel very fortunate to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I just want to thank everybody for watching You Make the Difference. And remember, you truly do.
Got a promise from heaven. It's a year of replevin. Got a promise from heaven. It's all coming back.